All right, let's talk about one of the biggest headaches in English grammar, shall we? Compliments. Yeah, I know. If you've ever just stared at a sentence wondering why it feels so weird and breaks all the rules you thought you knew, you're in the right place. We are about to crack this code wide open. And believe me, it is so much simpler than you've been led to believe.
So, get this. English has 5, and only 5, basic sentence patterns. Now, 3 of them, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. But those other 2, that's a full 40% of all basic sentences. They cause pretty much all the confusion. And today, we're going to put an end to that confusion for good.
So, what is it about these 2 patterns that makes them so difficult? Well, it all boils down to one little word: compliment. I mean, if you've ever felt like you just can't get a solid grip on what a compliment even is, you are not alone. And I'm here to tell you, it is not your fault.
Okay, here are the 5 usual suspects. And our 2 troublemakers are right there, highlighted for you. You've got number 3, subject-verb complement, and the really tricky one, number 5, subject-verb object complement. See that little letter C? That's the villain of our story. If you can master what that C is all about, you basically unlock the rest of English grammar. But if you don't, well, more complex sentences are always going to feel like an impossible puzzle. You see, for years, grammar books have tried to explain this stuff using these really unhelpful terms like incomplete verbs. I mean, seriously, what does that even mean? It's just a vague label that doesn't actually tell you anything about how the sentence works. We need a better way to think about this, a single core idea that's going to make everything just click. And here it is. This is the whole game changer. We're going to talk about the secret of what I call empty verbs. This one idea, this single concept, is the key that unlocks both of those confusing sentence patterns. And I'm telling you, once you see it, you will never be able to unsee it. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say I start a sentence, John Smith killed. Now, obviously, the sentence isn't finished, but you already have some real information, right? You know he did something. He performed the action of killing. But now, what if I say John Smith was? What do you know now? Absolutely nothing. The verb was is a total blank. It's empty. It carries no meaning on its own.
So this is it. This is the crucial point, the foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. Out of all the thousands of verbs in the English language, the only ones that are completely hollow, completely empty of meaning, are the ones that basically mean to be. They don't describe an action. They're just there.
And this empty verb actually has a name. It's called a linking verb. And I want you to stop thinking of it as a real verb. Instead, I want you to think of it as a grammatical equal sign. That's it. Its only job is to connect the thing on its left, the subject, with the words that actually describe it on the right. And those words on the right? That is the complement.
Okay, enough theory. Let's put this into practice. We're going to start with that first confusing pattern, subject, verb, complement, or S plus V plus C.
Let's take a sentence like, Taroko Gorge is beautiful. Now look what happens when you translate that into natural-sounding Chinese. Wait a second. Where did the verb is go? It's gone. It just vanishes. And why? Because it wasn't really doing any work in the first place. It was just an empty connector, a piece of grammatical glue that English requires, but other languages don't always need.
And it's not just the simple verb be. There's a whole family of these linking verbs that are really just different flavors of to be. To look happy is really just to appear to be happy. To seem friendly means to appear to be friendly. To become a doctor just means you will be a doctor. See? They're all just empty connectors at their core.
In fact, try this little experiment with me. Take the sentence, the dog seems friendly. Now in your head, just swap out seems and pop in the word is. What do you get? The dog is friendly. Did the basic meaning of the sentence change at all? Nope, not one bit. That's proof that seems is just acting like an equal sign, connecting dog to friendly.
Awesome! So now that we've got S plus V plus C down, it's time to take on the final boss. Subject, verb, object, complement. S plus V plus O plus C. Now, I know it looks way more intimidating, but I promise you the exact same empty verb logic is all you need.
So here's the one and only difference. In the last pattern, the complement described the subject, right? Well, in this pattern, the complement describes the object. That's it. The equal sign relationship we talked about is now between the object and the complement that follows it.
So how can you be 100% sure that you're looking at one of these S plus V plus O plus C patterns? Well, I'm going to give you a simple, foolproof test, a little hack. All you have to do is take the object and the complement, Stick the verb is or are in between them and see if it makes a new logical sentence. If it does, you found one.
Let's try it out. Here's our sentence. The people elected Bill Clinton president. Okay, our object is Bill Clinton. Our complement is president. Now let's run the test. Put is in the middle. Bill Clinton is president. Does that make sense? Yes, it absolutely works. So, bingo. This is a classic S plus V plus O plus C sentence.
All right, it's time for the final showdown. The place where almost everyone gets tripped up is confusing S plus V plus O plus C with S plus V plus O plus O. That's the pattern with two separate objects. But using our new equals sign way of thinking, we are going to clear this up once and for all.
Just look at these two sentences side by side. On the left, John's father gave him a dog. Okay, let's do the test. Does him equal a dog? Of course not. They are two totally separate things, two distinct objects. But now look at the right. John's father called him a dog. Let's do the test. In this sentence, does him equal a dog? Yes. In the context of the insult, dog is describing him. One equals the other. That right there, that is the unmistakable difference.
Okay, so you've basically mastered complements. But just when you think you've got it all figured out, there's one last really fascinating twist. We said that be verbs are empty and that they need a complement. So, what happens when you see one all by itself?
Shakespeare's most famous line of all time actually gives us the clue. To be or not to be. What is Hamlet really asking here? He's not asking to equal or not to equal. That makes no sense.
And here it is, the one exception that actually proves the entire rule. When a be verb is standing all alone with no complement to link to, it completely transforms. It stops being an empty placeholder and it takes on this powerful new meaning all its own, to exist. Think of Descartes, I think, therefore I am, I exist. Or Hamlet's question, to exist or not to exist, to live or to die.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. We're always taught that the verb is the engine of the sentence, right? The most important part. But as we've just seen, sometimes it's just an empty space. It's just an equal sign waiting for a complement to come along and give it meaning. So knowing the difference, knowing when the verb is the engine and when it's just a placeholder, that is the real secret to cracking the code of English.